Hello guys, the Elusive Pixie Chi here. I have something very special planned for you this week. As some of you may know, I am working on the re-release second edition of my first novel, Fairy Blood: The Meeting of Five. This week, I would love to share with you a little tidbit and excerpt from that novel. This story has gone through so many changes, so many rewrites, so much drama, mainly on the part of the publisher and how they stole all my money, but that's a story for another day. But I've climbed past that hurdle, and I am looking into the future with an open mind and a passionate heart. And I have such wonderful people behind me. I have a brilliant cover designer and friend. I have a brilliant illustrator and friend. I have everything that I ever wanted in just this incredibly short amount of time. And I'm just so happy that my love of stories and my love of writing has brought such incredible people into my life. People that I never thought could give 2 cents about some, invisible little girl like me from some nowhere part of the world. But I've met such brilliant, kind, loving, intellectually brilliant people in this last 5 years, and it's just been the most amazing experience. And I know I might be going on and getting a bit emotional here, but you know what? I just had to. I was going to write this all down and post a journal, but you know what? I don't want to do that. I want you people to understand that without my friends, without my fans, without my confidants, my critics, everybody who's done everything and contributed their own specific gifts to making my life and my work and my passion better. You are the people who need to exist in everyone's life. I was so lost and broken and unsure of myself before I met you, and you have all just done so much for my confidence as a writer and my confidence as a person, as a human being. I would have never started a YouTube channel or, shared my stories with the world, let alone my art. God knows I'm not the best artist, but you are all just always there for me, and you're even trying to help me get better at my art, which is probably my weakest talent right now, but you're all helping me, and I am forever grateful for that. And obviously when the book comes out, I'll probably say more of this, and I'll probably start crying, and yay, you get to hear me cry. What does that sound like, But anyway, thank you for hearing my thoughts. Thank you for listening. And just thank you for being there and supporting me. It means more than anything. More than money, more than fame, more than, holding the book you wrote in your own hands. None of that matters without the people who first set the milestones for that success in motion. You have all paved the path for this book and for Shannon Mayhew to show the world what she's capable of. Thank you. And now, without further ado, I present to you an excerpt from Chapter 7 of Fairy Blood: The Meeting of Five. There are several new segments to this book, and this particular excerpt delves into the villainess Marathika and her backstory as an outcast pixie. And basically in this rewrite, she is an outcast because she was born without wings. And I really wanted to change her from a stereotypical cliche villain of, I want to take over the world like she was in the first book, which is just terrible. I've gotten better at writing villains, I like to think, since then. But I wanted to make her really deep, really relatable, and very sympathetic, and I like to think that I might have done that here. So, tell me what you think, and here we go. Feeling as the tears fell down her face, a velvety black creature stared wide-eyed and helpless into the empty abyss before her. It was over. She no longer had a flock to call her own, nor even a place to feel safe and accepted. Blood found the corners of her mouth as the frustrated pixie bit down. Her wound still pounded with a livid emotional anguish, her mind exhausted and brittle from all the grueling efforts and wasted hours she had invested. She began to shudder as a cold breeze wafted across her face, stinging her wet eyes. They didn't care. Everything she had done to make them proud of her, to bring them joy, it was all for nothing. She wanted to believe her friends would never have her worst intentions in mind, that they would always support her every endeavor, and the love and kindness they delivered would never wane or change in its all-encompassing magnitude. The pixie had fought against the whispers for years now, desperately trying to convince herself that the negative ideas they spoke of were merely to dissuade her. But now, and unfortunately much too late, Marathika realized the truth. At best, they had simply tolerated her. Alrania had always been the favorite, after all. Though she was younger, far weaker and naive, in the end, the pixies chose her for one petty reason. Unlike her silken jet sibling, the alabaster pixie whom they'd gifted with both throne and title, she had wings. She was like them, a flawless and beautiful soaring creature. Marathika wondered just how she could have been so foolish. How could she have even suspected for one solitary instance that they loved her? So many words now ravaged what little remained of her positive outlook. Broken, tarnished, unfit to bear the name of Pixie. But it wasn't these foul thoughts that disrupted her soul the most. No, what caused the recesses of her tiny being to shriek and cower was the thought that all along they had been thinking the same thing. It was now all too obvious, the way the others felt about their wingless sister. She was a disgrace to their kingdom, to the sacred blood she carried, albeit by accident, through her veins. It is both ironic and sadly strange, the way one often overlooks cruel words when they feel loved by those who speak them. Still, with pearly smiles and gentle giggles, they had often called her Fox, a nickname which Marathika had never taken any umbrage with. Her kind did indeed resemble foxes, after all. But what she had once overlooked as a simple jest among friends, she now saw as a grievous insult delivered by stealthy foes. After all, though her people did resemble the canine creatures of the underbrush, one glaring difference set the two species apart. Foxes did not possess wings. Marathika shuddered as a new wave of pain flooded her body. They all felt this way, for none of them had even tried to defend her. Even Alrania, though acquiring a fretful look upon her face, had never so much as rebelled against the name. Alrania. Marathika wondered what kind of a leader her sister would inevitably make. She was a crowd pleaser. That much was apparent from the way the others all reveled around her and smiled as she passed. Aurania was quite the flyer. She was reputed for soaring at an intense vertical incline before free-falling several hundred feet. Then, to the sheer awe of any onlookers fortunate to be present, she would pull straight back. The sunlight would then glimmer with a gorgeous luminosity through her glassy wings, bathing all of her amazed fans and onlookers in a dazzling, multicolored variegation. Marathika had never so much as felt the wind beneath her non-existent appendages. She was never meant to fly. And if indeed it truly was the art of flight that made a fox a pixie, then she was little more than a wide-eyed trickster of the underbrush. No wonder they had all betrayed her, shunned her, played a deceitful game with her the entirety of her existence. What remained for an outcast, misfit little mongrel such as she? If Marathika was never meant to rule over a kingdom, then what did this world have in store for her? So many questions. Queries that the dull-eyed Fae had neither the energy nor the boldness to explore in that moment. So, instead, she darted through the thickets and meadows on fleet toes, focusing all of her drive and desire forward. Only forward, she repeated to herself, until it became a constant mantra, and then a grounded reality within her distressed mind. Keep moving forward. There is nothing for you back there. There is only the future now, and it awaits you beyond that glorious horizon line.